All right, so the goal today is to try to figure out how we're gonna lay down this anti-dig fence. Just to be clear, this is just a normal, this is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch spacing. Yeah, like poultry netting. And what our plan to do is to put about 1 foot above ground and 2 feet buried to keep the coyotes or any other predator, foxes, from digging underneath the fence.
Foxes. Raccoons. Dogs.
Raccoons. You don't think we have foxes here? Okay. Mountain lions, whatever it is, but I think a mountain lion's going over.
Yeah.
This is not something we've actually seen done. I've searched a lot of YouTube videos. There may be a reason for it, but this seemed like the most logical thing to do. So we are going to attempt this. We scraped this with the tractor, and now we're gonna see what it's like to work with this stuff. So here we go. The fencing company also had no idea how you're supposed to hold this fence to anything, so they recommended these normal ties. So we'll see how this goes. I just wanted to give a big shout out to my friends that for some reason after this project they're still answering my phone calls. So thank you again, Ashley, Dan, and Carolina. Okay, I just wanted to talk about this for a second. This is where, there could be a weak spot where we have two pieces of fence that are joining. We've had to cut them in some places coming up here because the way the ground's rolling, they won't nest correctly. So when we do that, we normally put another piece of fence over it and tie it in a bunch of places because we really want to make this really strong just in case the coyote digs up and can lift it up or something. So we just being very precautious. We're going to do some overlay here and try to really strengthen this up. All right, so here we are at like day 11 or 12 of the gate install. And we haven't really been going super fast because it started to get hot out. It was in the 95s for a few days last week. So we only put in like an hour or two a day, either early morning or the evening. And a couple of days we just took off so we could recover a little bit. Not used to all this physical activity, so it's taking a little toll on our bodies as we kind of adjust to this new life of working outdoors and exercising. For people who are normally computer people, it's a big adjustment for us. Today, or I should say yesterday, we got a lot done. We got probably about another 100 feet of fence placed. And what I mean by that is we got the ground dugout and the predator barrier installed. So that's the fence that we roll underneath and bury. Things like coyotes trying to dig, they'll have a hard time doing it because they'll hit that, won't be able to get through it. That's the goal there. Now today is a bigger challenge because we're following these existing fence posts that the landlord put in years and years ago. But the problem is, as we approach towards where the garage is, it's almost a straight downhill from the fence, which, you know, that doesn't really give us any room to bury the fence. So I'm not sure what we're going to do yet on that. We do have an electric jackhammer, so maybe we'll just try to go straight down and put the fence down, but haven't really decided what the solution to that is yet. So I'm going to start up here where there's enough room. We did a little bit of jackhammering because there's kind of a rock here that I needed to take down. I hit that pretty hard yesterday afternoon with a jackhammer and kind of knocked a lot of that down. So now I'm going to shovel it out and go from there. So here we go.
We came up with a solution that required drilling the rock, installing support tubes, and then building a small retaining wall using some leftover concrete board so we could backfill over the no-dig fence.
We have a little issue here. We've got a tree that's super close to the fence here. It's still young enough, though. I think we can relocate it and it'll come back. These pepper trees are kind of weeds. They survive a lot. In fact, the landlord moved one at the upper pad and left it undug for a couple days, just the root exposed, put it back in the ground, put some water and B1 on it, and a few weeks later it actually started showing some green. So I'm fairly confident that we can save this one. However, we want to move it because it's going to be so close to the fence that, A, it'll ground out a high voltage wire that's on here, and B, we're afraid that animals could use it to jump over the fence. We've cleared a path around the rest of the fence, and we've designed the fence in mind that any of the trees that are close to the fence we try to keep inside the fence. That way an animal can't use it to get over. So that being said, we're going to try to dig this up and move it just 6 or 7 feet behind me, so a little bit closer to the street. And then the fence will go right through here.
We were going to move this out a little further, but this tree had this awesome taproot that we didn't want to break. After we finished burying the roots, we heavily watered it and used 2 ratchet straps to hold it in place for a few months till it had reestablished itself, which I'm happy to report this worked quite well.
Alright, so here's the bummer, is as I was attaching this, you can see that it's not seated. That should be in that groove there. You can see that that one is settled inside. This one is outside. And what happened is my the electric cylinder that locks it actually ripped the wires out as it was locking. So they're broken flush at the cylinder down there. So I can't get this off, can't lock it in. I drilled the hole for the tree with this kind of loose, just watching it, because the one side did secure, but I'm gonna have to somehow unattach it right here. And so maybe if I pull the pins, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of dangerous to get this off, so. Maybe not tonight's project, maybe something for tomorrow.
All right, well, here we are at day, 11 or...